let's all begin by laying down on our backs. Taking the moment to close our eyes or soften our gaze and just start settling in, finding a comfortable position, perhaps placing our hands on our belly or on the sides, arriving fully into the space and the moment. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling out. Taking a deep, deep inhale through your nose and holding it. Take a little bit more of air. Hold it and exhale it out. So today is a pretty cool day if you like to believe in anything like little coincidences. Today is 222. So 222. And the number 222 is, apart from funny of saying it, it's a symbol of alignment, balance, and co-creation.
There we go.
It's a reminder that you are exactly where you need to be, that your desires and your dreams are unfolding in divine timing. Even if you can't truly see the full picture right now, trust me, they are. Let's take a deep breath and exhale it out. You have to remember that these dreams that you have, they are there for a reason. It is your higher self telling you that you are capable, that it is possible to achieve the things that your heart truly wants the most. And you guys, best of all is that it's actually possible to obtain them with ease. I think far too often we think that we have to struggle, power through to get that thing we want the most. Sometimes all it takes is just letting go of that control, letting go of that need to know how everything is going to turn out, and just trusting that it is. Let's take another deep breath in through our nose and hold it at the top. Take a tiny sip of air and exhale it out. So the number 222 is just an invitation to step into alignment with our higher self, to allow ourselves to co-create with the universe. And most importantly, just to release the need to force things and instead just let them flow with the natural rhythm of life. So today I ask you, what are you ready to align with? What is that deepest, truest desire that your heart has? And how can we just trust more deeply in life's divine timing and let go of that need to control? Taking a deep inhale and exhale, release. Starting to bring back some movement into our bodies. Let's wiggle those fingers, our toes. Take hands overhead for a big, big stretch. Let's bring those knees towards our chest to give them a hug. Perhaps gently, hey Andrew, allowing your body to rock side to side, giving that lower back a nice little massage.
Yeah, my hips are rocked right now. Oh my God.
And allowing your knees to fall all the way over to the right. Hands can come extended out to the sides.
We're in there, fellas.
Bringing those knees back through center and onto the other side.
What I like to do is shift over first and then...
And coming back through the center. Rocking gently front to back until we meet at a seated position. Bringing those hands up towards the sky as we inhale and exhale, release. Let's take the soles of our feet and let's connect them together, forming a little triangle butterfly with our legs. So part of tapping into your inner self comes from your sacral chakra, which is where creativity comes from. So this class is going to be all about our hips.
Oh, there we go.
Was that Shakira song? Hips Don't Lie? Has nothing to do with this, but
They don't,
just
she
throwing
does.
it in there. So let's begin to warm up our body, head to toes, doing very gentle neck stretches side to side, or perhaps going around very, very slowly in one direction and onto the other. Coming back to the center. Let's take that right hand up to the sky, planting that left hand out on our outer side of our mat, just creating a deep, deep stretch and switching on to the other side. Coming back through center. Let's take those feet, lengthen our back. As we inhale, stretch, exhale, falling forward. So it's less about curling your back to see if you can try to kiss your feet. And it's more of keeping your back straight, lowering down, and where you land, that is just perfect. That is exactly where you're meant to be. Coming back up. Let's take those feet up to the back, setting up for a tabletop position.
The tabletop.
So stacking our hips above our knees, shoulders above those wrists. And taking this moment to start connecting to yourself, to your breath, and your body. So maybe closing your eyes or softening that gaze down to the mat and just starting to stretch out those hips, those arms, maybe swaying side to side, up and down, all the way around. Anything that feels good right now. So you start trying out one side and you're like, oh, yep, there it is.
We hit hamstrings to look good in tabletop.
Allowing your body to connect with your breath.
Ooh, that knee, bro. Not too bad. It's looking promising.
Continuing that, or taking a few cat-cows. So as we inhale, we open up our chest, gaze up. Exhale, round that back. Press off the mat with the palms of your hands. Inhale, belly drops. Exhale, curl it up. Coming back to a neutral tabletop. Let's plant that left hand on our mat. Right hand rises up, threading that needle over to the left side of our mat. That left hand can stay right where it's at, or it can come all the way to the left outer corner of your mat for a deeper stretch, or perhaps taking a bind behind your back, slowly coming back up, handing that right hand down, left hand rises up, and we thread the needle over to the right side of our mat. Again, the options for that right hand to stay right where it's at, or play around with it, moving it around your mat, trying to take a little bind behind your back, anything that feels comfortable. And slowly making our way back to that tabletop. Let's lift that right knee off the mat and over parallel to the right side of our mat for a fire hydrant position.
Great for glutes.
Wonder why. So taking the time to do just little circles in one direction and onto the other. Bringing that foot up, the little scorpion tail, maybe wagging that scorpion tail a little. And planting that foot all the way on the outer right side of our mat and slowly rising up for a gate.
Gate.
Allowing those hands to fall all the way over to the right and all the way over to the left. Coming back to the center, let's plant those palms on our mat. Tuck that back toe slightly and very gently bringing those hips back in space. Slowly coming back up. Let's plant that left palm down. We're going to thread the needle in gate pose because I want you to feel the difference from tabletop. Bringing that hand right to the sky and threading the needle. Again, the options for that left palm to move around your mat.
And this is why the bind doesn't make sense to me
Really?
in the regular one, because you're taking pressure off of that
Well,
side.
you bind because you press down with your head.
I'll explain later.
Slowly coming back up. Planting that palm on our mat, bringing that leg in, giving those hips a little shake, perhaps those hands a little shake.
Make sure your balls aren't popping out of your small shorts.
Left knee rises up, again for that fire hydrant on our other side.
Oh, it's numb.
Opening up those hips with hip circles in one direction.
Getting caked up, boys.
And onto the other. Bringing that foot up for our little scorpion tail. Perhaps wagging that tail around. Hello, scorpion. And planting that foot to the left outer side of our mat. Slowly lifting up for a gate. Allowing those hands to fall all the way to the left. And all the way to the right. Coming back to that center, let's plant those palms on our mat. Option to tuck the back tippy toes of your foot. It just gives an extra stretch to the foot. Now, it might feel a little weird, so feel free to just lay it out flat. Slowly bring those hips back in space.
Not too bad, fellas.
Slowly coming back up. Grounding now from that right hand. Left hand rises up, and we thread the needle over to the right. So right, your head is planted down on the mat. Mm-hmm. You bring that right hand behind your back.
I'll explain later.
Slowly coming back up. Bringing hands and knees back to that mat. Giving those hips a little shake. Tucking the back tippy toes. Slowly extending out those legs, bringing hips up towards space for our first downward facing dog. Taking a little moment to paddle or walk that dog, doing
look at you.
Bends to those knees for extra stretching, perhaps even swaying hips side to side, gazing to the top of the mat, and walking those feet all the way forward, allowing your upper body to just fall forward and hang heavy. Imagine you're carrying weights in those hands. Your neck is super heavy, your head is super heavy, just hanging down. And very, very slowly, starting to rise up vertebra by vertebra, allowing your head to be the last to come up. Taking a deep inhale and exhale, release. One more big, deep, deep, deep inhale. And exhale it out. This time as we inhale, let's bring those hands up towards the sky. And exhale, fall all the way forward.
Boom.
Lifting up halfway, so creating that flat back, bringing those palms below or above your knees. And falling forward one more time. Taking a bend to our knees as much as needed so we are able to plant those palms at the top of our mat and stepping or hopping back into a high plank or dropping down those knees for a supported plank. Moving through a chaturanga, so lowering down halfway, bringing our chest through for an upward facing dog and hips back up into space for our downward facing dog. Right leg rises up. Let's plant that right foot at the top of our mats. Slowly rising up for our crescent.
Croissants. Fire.
Croissant.
Fire. Yo, croissants are so good.
I'm hungry. Don't talk about food. Right hand comes back, left hand forward for a twist. Coming back through our center. This time, left hand comes back, right hand forward for our twist. And extending out that left leg, opening our hips towards the left side of our mat for a warrior two. Gazing through that top middle finger, shifting your weight all the way forward and reversing it back. And moving back to that warrior two. This time as we shift our weight forward, we're coming all the way down into a skandasana.
No, we're not. No, we are not.
Perhaps rearranging that front foot as much as needed.
Can't do that with
Hands
that knee.
can stay at heart center, but they can come lower down to your mat for extra support.
We'll do this.
Walking those hands to that left leg, left knee bends, right leg extends out for skandasana on the other
We
side.
could do that one. This way. Well, aren't you limber? She is. Wink.
And as we walk our hands to the top of the mat, staying with that front knee bent, bringing that back foot, hopping into a little malasana.
Let's see how low we can go.
Oh no, we're not.
Okay, this isn't too terrible.
Crawling into malasana too.
This ain't too terrible right now.
Perhaps using those elbows and our inner thighs to create a little stretch and breathe. I didn't think about it, but it was a little too vibey for planting those palms at the top of our mat, hopping or stepping back into a high plank, dropping those knees, coming all the way down for a child's pose.
I got that wrong.
Like a slow and reverb.
All right. Let's try this again.
That is true. We will do that.
Okay.
Perhaps extending
That's not too bad.
your
Doing
child's
something.
pose, so bringing those knees far out and wide on that mat, and then lowering down your chest.
You know what? I got an idea. We're gonna do this instead. Frog.
You're a mind reader, Ray. Were you reading my notes last night?
Amongst other things.
Bringing those hips slightly up in space so we can extend out our knees. Belly comes flat on our mat. Using our forearms, planting those palms down on the mat. Let's bring that right knee to a bend and extending it out to the right outer side of our mat for a half frog pose. You can stay right here, lower that head all the way down to the floor, or bringing those palms closer to your chest, slowly rising up.
Yeah, if you want to donate me new knees, I'm taking it.
And coming all the way back down. Left hand extends out to the side. We're going to be flipping over that right knee. So
Breaking it.
bringing that right foot to the left outer side of your mat. Right hand can stay right where it's at. Maybe come for a little cushion below your head and coming back on that belly. Planting those palms at the top of our mat, curling your feet, moving through into a downward facing dog. Gazing to the top of the mat, walking those feet and falling forward. And very, very slowly starting to rise up.
What am I doing?
Taking a few rounds of inhales and exhales. And on the next inhale, bringing those hands up towards the sky. Maybe taking a little back bend, peeking back. And exhale all the way down. Lifting up halfway, creating that flat back. And falling forward one more time. Taking a bend to those knees as much as needed so the palms of our hands can plant on our mat and stepping or hopping back into a high plank or supported plank. Shifting that weight forward as we come halfway down, bringing our chest through and into our downward facing dog. Left leg rises up. Plant that left foot at the top of our mats, slowly rising up for our crescent. On our next exhale, can we just relax your shoulders a little? Left hand comes back, right hand comes forward for a twist, coming back through the center. Right hand comes back, left forward for our open twist. Planting that back foot down, readjusting our hips so we can open up for a warrior two. Shifting all that weight forward and reverse. Moving back through that warrior two. As we shift that weight forward, we're moving into Skandasana. So taking our hips all the way down. Hands can stay at heart center. Plant it down on that mat for extra support and breathe. Walking those hands all the way to the back of our mats. Right knee bent, left leg extended out for Skandasana on the other side. With the help of our hands, walking those hands to the top of the mat, keeping that left leg bent. Let's hop that right foot to the top of the mat for our Malasana.
I don't know what I did, but I pissed it off.
Taking a deep breath in. And exhale, release. Planting those palms on our mat and stepping or hopping back into a high plank or supported plank, dropping our knees to the ground and shifting our weight all the way back for a child's pose.
We're just gonna frog it again.
Again, option for that child's pose to bring those knees as far out wide on your mat. And then allow your hands to walk all the way down. Chest comes down, slowly coming all the way down on our bellies. Readjusting those legs. Arms.
I have an idea for an invention.
Planting those forearms on our mats, palms planted down. Let's take that left leg out, a little bend for that half frog pose. And staying down here, or perhaps pushing off those forearms, or walking those hands back towards your chest, coming all the way up. And slowly lowering back down. This time we extend out that right arm, slowly peeling off that left foot from the ground with the help of our left hand, bringing that foot all the way back. Slowly coming back in, giving those feet maybe a little windshield wiper shake, allowing feet to fall all the way to the back of our mat. Now we're going to take a full frog. So bringing both knees bent out. It's like splattered frog or something. You can stay down here, using those forearms to gently rise up, or perhaps walking those hands back and very, very gently coming all the way out.
Just gotta gorilla fist it, bro.
And lowering back.
I am warm.
Feet come together. Maybe windshield wiper out. Tucking those toes, pressing the palms of your hands on the mat, moving through a high plank and into a downward facing dog. Walking those feet to the top of our mat and falling forward. Perhaps taking hold of opposite elbows or a ragdoll pose, and allowing your hips to gently sway side to side, allowing your head to move freely, perhaps nodding your head yes, or nodding your head no, and releasing those hands back down on the mat.
My feet are tingling.
Very, very
like
slowly rising up.
I feel like I'm stepping on hot coals.
Taking a few rounds of inhales and exhales. Perhaps taking a sip of water. And when you're ready, inhaling out once more. And exhale, allowing that chest to fall forward. Planting those palms at the top of our mat and stepping or hopping back into a high plank or supportive plank. And taking the last chaturanga of the class or skipping and meeting at a downward facing dog. Right leg rises up. Let's bring that right knee towards right elbow, dropping that foot down as we set up for everyone's favorite pigeon pose. You're all like, yes, it's ending. Great. Allowing yourself to stay up here if you'd like, or with the help of your hands, lowering down that body, slowly coming back up. Opening up towards the left side of that mat, keeping left leg extended out, bringing that right leg to taking a big inhale, and as you exhale, fall forward. Hands can come perhaps towards your feet or ankle, down on the ground.
Big toe.
Remembering that wherever you land, that is exactly where you're meant to be. Slowly rising back up. We're gonna set up for pigeon on the other side, so let's take a bend to that left knee. Right leg extends out so you're facing the street. An option to stay in an active pigeon pose with our chest raised up, or with the help of our hands, walking those hands, forearms, chest all the way down, kind of like allowing your chest just to melt, slowly rising back up. Keeping that right leg extended out, shifting over towards the right side of our mat, sending out that left leg, taking a deep inhale as we lengthen that back. Exhale, falling forward.
Come here, big toe. Doesn't number my heels though. Fuck.
Slowly rising up, bringing those feet towards the top of our mat, connecting our feet together once more, but a little more warmed up and stretched out. Taking a big inhale, lengthening that back as we exhale, falling forward. And slowly coming back up and making our way on our backs. Let's plant the soles of our feet down on our mat, creating a bend with those knees. Palms come planted down by the sides of our hips, down on the ground on the mat. Pressing from those palms, slowly lifting up your hips for a bridge pose. And slowly coming back down.
I'll be the bridge pose, you could be the tabletop.
Taking a deep inhale, lifting off those hips once more. Perhaps staying at a bridge pose, or if you'd like to take wheel.
A wheel?
And slowly coming back down. Extending out those legs far out on your mat. You're going to tuck those shoulders under, bringing hands below your hips. So perhaps coming a little bit up.
We're doing something.
Bringing those shoulders into that back for a fish pose.
Oh, that's weird.
Sending that chest up towards the sky, perhaps even curling that back a little. And slowly coming all the way down. Taking the moment to do any final pose that your body is asking for. Any final stretch. Or perhaps just extending hands and legs all the way out. Finding most comfortable position as we transition into our Shavasana. Allowing our breath to slow down. Taking a deep, deep inhale through your nose, holding it at the top. Take a bit more sip of air, a little sip more, and exhale it out. Taking another deep, deep inhale, the deepest inhale that you've taken today. Holding that at the top, taking a little bit more in, a little bit more in, and let it go. And before we begin to zone out with the bowls, I just want to remind you of the beauty of what this day means, of that alignment, balance, co-creation with the universe. And just take the moment to remind you that those dreams that you have are there for a reason. Your higher self, your intuition, that voice inside your head, whatever you want to call it, knows that it is possible for you to achieve the things your heart truly and most deeply wants. And it is possible to obtain them with ease if we just surrender instead of forcing things, allowing the natural flow and rhythm of life. What is that one deepest desire that your heart has? Starting to bring back a little bit of awareness into our bodies. Wiggling those fingers and toes, bringing hands overhead for a big, big stretch. Bringing those knees towards your chest. And allowing them to drop all the way to the right side of our mat. Perhaps creating a little cushion.
Oh, I don't do that one.
With your hands, and very slowly making your way back to a seated position.
I'm already there.
Taking a deep inhale, bringing those hands up towards the sky. Exhale, connecting those palms all the way down to heart center. Thank you guys for being here. From my heart to yours, namaste.
Namaste.